I am so happy to have amongst us some of the most esteemed tourism stakeholders of entire Northeast and outside. Our Director of Tourism, Mr. Mboya, is here. Editor Chairman is here. Officers of Assam Tourism, Meghalaya Tourism, and media. We have been joined by some national media personalities who were invited. Especially, he's already here, and a few more are joining. And this idea is to make people understand about Northeast. And for promoting tourism, we need the support of the tour operating fraternity across the country. And our SB Hussain is here, so we thank you so much. From BTC team is coming very good, and we are having team from Karbi Anglong Council, tourism departments, and all of you, I offer my sincere gratitude for joining this. And thank you, President of AD2I, Mr. P.P. Khanna, and the whole team of AD2I. Thank you so much, Mr. Khannaji. We have Mr. Rajiv Mehra, the President of IATO, one of the largest tourism body of the whole country. Thank you so much, Mehraji. And the whole family of IATO, we welcome you here to this Northeast Tourism Roadshow. And thank you so much for all the IATO members. Mr. Binayak is here, who is the Honorary Secretary of ATOI, Adventure Tour Operator Association of India. Thank you, Binayak. Binayak is a rockstar tour operator who does a lot of work in adventure tourism in Uttaranchal and Himachal, and we are trying to attract him to come to look at in a big way in the Northeast. And all the leading tour operators of India are here. So that is an idea of Northeast Festival. Northeast Festival we started in 2013-14 in Delhi to make people aware about Northeast. Over the last 8-9 years, we organized in Indira Gandhi Center for Arts. A lot of these tour operators have joined here, and tourism has been a main focus. We try to showcase the culture, cuisine, craft of Northeast in Delhi, and the perception of Northeast has got substantially changed after Northeast Festival. Earlier, Northeast was mostly focused for insurgency or flood. Northeast Festival became headlines in Times of India, Indian Express. So cuisines of Northeast, the craft of Northeast started getting focused. In fact, lakhs of people attend every Northeast Festival. So in terms of footfall, it is considered Delhi's biggest food festival. This year, we have finalized to organize in Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in New Delhi. And in fact, I invited Mr. Binayak, Mr. P.P. Khanna, and Mr. Rajiv Mehra and whole team. And we all were gearing up for Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, and suddenly COVID happens in Delhi. And we had to suddenly shift to Guwahati, and COVID started happening in Guwahati also. So we are doing a 100 times of Northeast Festival, what we do in Delhi here. Digitally, we are trying to connect to the rest of the country. We are creating a package of Northeastern culture, cuisine, and fashion, and tourism destinations. And we are trying to, through digitally, series of conclaves are organized, where stakeholders are sitting outside, and our stakeholders are sitting here. And today's meeting is about tourism. We try to talk about tourism networking of tour operators of Northeast India, tourism departments, and national tour operators. Today we'll hear from Assam. Mr. Tripuna Borwa is here, the chairman of ATDC, who will talk about the vision of Assam tourism for Assam tourism. We'll hear from Mr. Mboya about Mizoram. India's most cleanest place, or the cleanest air, is from Mizoram. So he'll talk about Mizoram. And we have from Meghalaya, Cloud Airport, they will speak about Meghalaya tourism. The TOA is here, our tourism stakeholders in Northeast, they will speak, and we'll hear from AD2I President, IATO President, ATOI Secretary, and then we'll have an interaction on what can be done to promote Northeast. So I request all of you to keep your presentation short so that we can have a bigger consultation. So to moderate the show, let us welcome Nirmalada, one of the most leading tour operators of Northeast, come. And he'll be moderating the session. My only request is that time is short, we have to do it quickly. Mr. Tripuna Borwa, Chairman of ATDC, can you just come here? Bhavna and Himanshu, can you just... Mr. Mboya is the Director of Tourism of Mizoram. We have tourist officer from Meghalaya. Here, John? Yeah, this one. And we have BTC, Director Tourism of BTC is here. Mr. Sanat is here, please come. The Boroland is coming up as a new destination of tourism, so we are requesting BTC. Rajiv Hussain sir, we want a senior member of Assam Tourism. He is retired as commissioner, but one of the pioneers. We will request him to come here. Or is it Shreya or is it? Shreya will sit from here or is it people? No, that's fine. So we start the session. All of them are waiting. So our session starts. NorthEast Tourism Roadshow in NorthEast Festival. Thank you very much. And felicitate before.
Thank you, Sharma.
I just take a second.
Yes, please.
He's from our Meghalaya. So these stores are also North-Eastern fabric. We are trying to promote the textiles of North Indian. These are stores we are trying to promote across the country. He's like a guide to us. Let's start.
Thank you, Shankanavai. Welcome to dignitaries on the dais. Before we begin, just a few words. Northeast India, comprising the 8 states, is very significantly geographically located. 98% of our borders are with China, Myanmar, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan. And our area is unique. There is hardly any other geographical location in the whole of this world which comprises of such great mix of different communities and ethnicities who live together. There are more than 400 languages that are spoken in our region. One can imagine the different ethnic identities. Because of our geographic location, we have a unique advantage of we have been able to preserve and sustain our traditional values, our traditional attires, our traditional weavings, handicrafts, jewelry making, and many of our customs are still alive just the way it has been for many centuries. So this makes our Northeast region unique among all the destinations in the entire country. World's largest river island to the world's smallest inhabited river island. The largest Buddhist monastery outside of Tibet in India is also in Arunachal Pradesh, in Northeast. The longest bridge to the only floating national park in the world. The only living root bridges of Meghalaya. The world's oldest working refinery in Digboi in Assam. The only producer of traditional silk called Muga, Eri, Pat, unique to Assam. And the wettest place on earth, the largest tea growing area of the world. Most literate states in the entire country are Mizoram and Tripura. And there are many such distinctions that relies on us on the northeastern region. We have very eminent speakers to address us today. We will begin today's sessions by inviting Mr. Ronald Walang, Tourist Officer from the Meghalaya Tourism, who will begin with a short video and a PowerPoint presentation. Please come.
I will actually first begin with the presentation and then the video afterwards. So, a very good morning to all of you, the government officials, the national media team, ATTOI, IOTA, ATOAI. My sincerest apologies that our director could not be here. He is also the secretary to the government of Meghalaya, and unfortunately his schedule could not be cleared as our state is currently revamping our COVID SOPs and guidelines and enforcing restrictions within the state. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Rinal Walang. I am the tourist officer under the Department of Tourism, Government of Meghalaya. I will not take much of your time this afternoon. I will be presenting a short presentation on the work that our department has done recently. Meghalaya is a small state with Shillong as the capital. We share an international border with Bangladesh, and as such, border tourism is also an ongoing effort by the department, where tourists are seen flocking daily to the international border. The state is predominated by 3 tribes, the Khasi, the Jantia, and the Garo. The next slide here is just an indication of the annual tourist footfalls. As you can all see, it's increasing year by year, with approximately 1.2 million or 12 lakhs as on 2018. Connectivity. The state is connected in majority by roads. Air travel with flights from Delhi to Calcutta, Delhi and Calcutta to Shillong, and of course Guwahati Airport, which is approximately 110 kilometers further on by road to Shillong. We've recently revamped tourism in the state. This is just an example of the festivals that have been held by the department. The Meghani Age Festival in one of our districts was held just before the onset of COVID in March 2020. We received a lot of criticism for it. However, everything was a success. There was glamping, where foreign tour operators were invited to the event, and music as well. The next slide depicts the cultural dances of the different tribes. The Shat Suk Mensiam of the Khasi, or the rebirth dance. The Nongkrem dance, it seeks to appease the goddess for prosperity and a rich harvest. The Bedingham of the Jantia, this seeks good harvest right after the sowing season. The Wangdala festival of the Garo, or the 100 Drums festival. This is a post-harvest festival for a bountiful harvest. Adventure tourism. Our state has an excellent potential for adventure tourism, where the independent tour operators organize their own events and provide different facilities to tourists. As you can see here, camping is available, along with zip lining, and other activities as well, such as scuba diving, to just name a few. The Swadesh Darshan scheme, a Ministry of Tourism scheme implemented by our department for construction of the tourism cottages. The Ministry of Tourism officials inspected the cottages last year and posted it on their official Facebook page. Nature trails. Our state is blessed with beautiful nature trails. This is just to name a few. These trails may be tedious and tiresome, but they are worth it and enjoyable as well. These are just a few of the examples: the David Scott Trail, the Nong-Blai Trail, the Waken Trail, the Nongkrek Trail, and the Kudangrim Trail. Now, local cuisine. The state has a rich diversity when it comes to local cuisine. I'm sure many of you here have tasted our cuisine. The best practices being implemented by our department. Our department is trying to be more sustainable by engagement with the community and to meet SDG goals. The adoption of tech to assist the stakeholders and data management. An example of this is the launch of our Meghalaya Tourism app on Google Play Store and the Apple App Store, where tourists register themselves, book their accommodations, declare the itinerary, and even upload their documents for verification. The data is being managed by our department as and when needed. The Megong Festival. This is just an example of another festival that concluded recently in the state, just in the month of November. The Megong Festival was a huge success, where we had dedicated social media team for publicity and audience interactions, video presentation teams, along with print media and social media handles like Instagram and Facebook. The Cherry Blossom Festival. Right after the Megong Festival, we had the Cherry Blossom Festival. It was an immense success. We had performers from all over the globe, including K-pop group Pixie from South Korea. Some of you may have heard or seen videos circulating on social media about riots between the police and the crowd, which happened just outside the venue. Well, this is just the mere excitement that the people had for the festival. Unfortunately, COVID protocols had to be maintained with limited capacity at the venue. Thank you. Can we now have the short video presentation, please?
really wonderful. Thank you so much, Galia. May I now invite Mr. Lalmangua from the Department of Tourism, Director, Government of Mizoram, to begin his presentation now. Thank you, sir.
Can you show that? May I control it? Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Dear esteemed participants and those who participated from the virtual mode, I am extremely delighted to speak before you in the NorthEast Festival 2022. So, before I start my presentation, I would like to say a few words about Mizoram. Mizoram is a land of contradiction. It is unpretentious, but easily accessible, just like everyone else. People are saying Mizoram is very remote, inaccessible, but these are not true. So just like any other states, we are accessible, cramped with all the hills that rolls over across hundreds of miles and covered with lush green forests and dominated by thick bamboo groves and green paddy fields and all, teeming vibrant wildlife. We have many serene lakes and magnificent waterfalls. Mizoram is unfamiliar to most of us Indians because it is due to the lack of information. So it is known as the paradise unexplored and that hidden from the mass tourists with unlimited adventure. So before coming to the presentation, I will show you exciting video clips which you will feel like seeing paradise in real life.
Are you looking for an adventure in the East? Mizoram is an exceptional display of nature. It is such an astonishing sight to behold. For a unique and mind-blowing experience, explore the magnificent beauty of Zampai. That is the only way to truly understand the magic of its beauty. See it, explore it, experience it. This is Zampai, mystical Mizoram, a true paradise for travelers. Are you ready to answer the call of the mountains? Truly spectacular, beyond comparison, beyond description, and absolutely unparalleled. There is not a single reason to say no to visit this beauty once in a lifetime. It will certainly make a place not only in your travel bucket list, but will stay in your heart forever. For a thrilling and spectacular experience. Yes, mystical Mizoram, a true paradise for travelers.
The last one.
Join us through a journey that will sure to delight you in your search for thrilling experiences. Those who seek the thrill of exploring unknown destinations, Mizoram welcomes you to her hidden gems. And they come earth-rich waterfalls is a perfect setting for your getaway from the hustle and bustle. Mizoram you visit, Mizoram Tourism has lots to offer you for your perfect holidays. Mystical Mizoram, a paradise for everyone.
That's all. So you see, if you are looking for a carefree, getting up close and up with personal, and then you can experience many folklores and dramatics of modern mist unfold, I can assure you that Mizoram is a destination what you are well. And then I'll take only 4 to 5 minutes for the presentation. So Mizoram, this is the presentation. This is the presentation. Mizoram, why we call a mystical Mizoram. Mystical Mizoram, a paradise for everyone, is a new tagline adopted by the state government. Mizoram is the second most literate state in India. Highest forest covered in India with 85% of its geographical area covered by the forest, which is reported by the India's State of Forest Report 2019. And then Mizoram was declared the best green state in 2020 by Travel and Leisure magazine in 2020. And we have rich and rare flora and fauna with 253 species of orchids, 300 species of medicinal plants. And then we have been declared happiest state in India by Management Development Institute, Gurugram in 2020. And then I would like to elaborate that it is not about how much we have, it is about how much we value what we have. That means Mizoram is not a rich state. We are poor in infrastructure, we are poor economically, we are poor in physical infrastructure. But parameters they have taken based on that, and then we have been declared the happiest state in India. And then as the moderator has pointed out, Aizawl is the best air quality index among 132 Indian cities by Central Pollution Control Board. And then one spectacular thing I would like to mention is Mizoram, Aizawl is no honking city. So everyone takes on responsibility of making Aizawl city a honk-free city, where honking is norm in other parts of India. So people strictly follow the rules, and then they abide the lanes, and they follow the lane, and then you will never see a biker trying to escape a traffic, breaking the lane or breaking the traffic rules. So we locals are not forced to follow the rules, but we are self-conscious to know the importance of traffic rules. That makes the accident very less. And so you see the state has been marked by, from the video presentation also, it has been marked by the evergreen ranges of hills that showcase stunning nature's beauty. So that is the true nature beauty, that is the true display of beauty of Mizoram, which is the mystical Mizoram. That's why we call it the mystical Mizoram. Why we are mystical? The legends has that Mizoram came from a very big rock called Silung East in East Asia. It is a large rock covering known as Silung. And what Mizo fostered in real life is not long, that is the institutionalized, which is institutionalized since time immemorial. That is institutionalized everywhere across Mizoram. It is based on principle of cooperation and cooperation for the fulfillment of social obligations and responsibility. And then one distinct character of Mizos among the Mizos is altruism. That is, we call it Tlongmaina. It is hard to explain in words. It is a code of conduct that everyone shows hospitality, kindness, and helpful to each other. It stands for self-service, selfless services for the others. That is the sacrifice for the other people. And the feeling of love, caring, and sharing to visitors are a paramount important aspect of the Mizoram, which makes mystical Mizoram. So the beauty of Mizoram, as you can see, it is truly spectacular, beyond comparison, beyond description, and absolutely unparalleled. A true paradise for everyone. So are we accessible? Yes, of course we are accessible, just like Delhi, Kolkata, and Guwahati, as I said earlier. And people are saying that Mizoram is very remote. And then we are remote, but you can easily access, you can easily reach Mizoram daily services from Guwahati, Kolkata, Imphal, and Delhi. and then we'll be getting rail connectivity up to by 2030 in up to Aizawl. Right now we have Bairabi connectivity up to Bairabi. So road networks, we have a very good road networks in Guwahati, Shillong, Silchar, through national highways. Through NorthEast policy, Act East policy under the government of India, that links the state with the neighboring countries for enhancing the exchange of goods, access to social and economic developments. So that will be completed by 2023. And then we are modern, as I said, we are accessible with warm hospitality and a sense of altruism. We are honest and happy. And then these are the products why you should visit Mizoram. We have adventure tourism, eco-adventure tourism. All these products we have. But our USP is three in a sense, three products: that eco-adventure tourism, nature-based tourism, and culture. So coming to the adventure and eco-adventure tourism, these are the activities we can offer: rafting, trekking, hiking, outdoor camping, caving, rock climbing. All these are the end products of the adventure and eco-adventure tourism. So you can see that Mizoram is becoming adventure hub in the Northeast for nature enthusiasts, wildlife photographers, and tourists. This will give a sheer delight to those who wish to walk amidst the nature, that will bring a feeling of awe and thrilling experience. So we can offer all these adventure activities in Mizoram state. The next one is nature-based tourism. These are the activities we can offer for the nature-based tourism. I would like to mention that as a responsible tourism, we have already notified the responsible tourism policy 2020 last year recently, and then based on that we started an initiative called Responsible Tourism Initiatives in different villages as a pilot project. And Kamrang, I would say Kamrang is an unknown destination even among the locals. So we started the responsible tourism initiatives in Kamrang as a pilot phase, and so there will be a deep respect for nature, which is ardent. Wherever you travel, you can also volunteer and help plant trees and help local people in planting the wildflowers. So this will be this Kamrang will be your next famous destination within 2-3 years. And the next one is the heritage and culture. We have heritage sites, monoliths, and all these menhirs and Vangsia, Lian Pui, Zhongklai, Walcheng. Dances, we have festivals, tribal lifestyles, and Jumings, and all these. Our festivals are also linked with the Juming and tribal lifestyles also. And then the next one is the Ngalaudor. It is one of the most spectacular characteristics of the visual life. Ngalaudor, shop without keepers. Shop without keepers is based on the mutual trust between the people who put the vegetables and the people who buys the farm produces. And then you may see many temporary massive shops with fresh produces from the farms. You pick what you want and you put money box. You put money in the money box. So it is based on mutual trust. This culture is not found in many places. So this means that we trust everyone and we expect everyone to be honest as well. This is the last photograph. And the next one is sports tourism. I would like to mention about the sports tourism because sports is a big investment in tourism industry by creating economic growth. Because Mizoram people, mostly boys between 6 to 14 years, they are passionate about the football. Everywhere you go in Mizoram, they will play football in the local fields or in the main roads and all. So sports tourism takes over, takes over all these hotels and restaurants during the I-League match. Football tourism, when I talk about the sports tourism, I'm talking about the football tourism in a big way. The business was increased, and there was a deep passion among youth, and I-League matches in Aizawl Football Club, which is the I-League club, one of the they were champion in 2017. It was in fact this football club is the football club owned by our Honorable Minister for Tourism and Sports. So hotel and homestays are in full capacity when I-League matches, and football is a festival. So I invite you to witness the I-League match next time in Mizoram, to witness the football frenzy among the Mizos. So a holiday with friends and families, witness a mega sporting event is no longer a foreign towards to Indians. These are the spectators, these are the audiences, these are the viewers in the I-League match, the play between Aizawl Football Club and Mahundogan. Golf tourism. As I said before, golf tourism, we just had the golf course and resort in Aizawl. It is 18 golf course, 72 acres area. And then besides that, we also have wellness tourism, wellness center. It was recently inaugurated by our Honorable Minister. The next slide covers, coming to the next slide, sightseeing. So many sightseeings. We have many sightseeing. We can get away there, retreat, camping, tenting, natural beauty, fresh air, unpolluted air, and 360-degree views across the state. And then people might say that there is no sightseeing. There is no sightseeing in Mizoram, but there are many. There are too much of it if you look at the right angle. So, but the thing is that Mizoram certainly doesn't make it to the travelers bucket list due to the lack of information. We have many that will certainly make a place not only in your travel bucket list, that once you visit Mizoram, it will stay in your heart forever. I can assure that. The last photograph is the Solomon's Temple, a beautiful one. And then I would also like to touch upon the responsible tourism initiatives. Responsible tourism policy was notified last year. It is being introduced in Kabrang village, Ailong and Aizawl as a pilot project. We have framed strategies and efforts to ensure long-term perpetual sustenance for the environment. So, and then coming to the Mizoram tourism at a glance, these are the Mizoram. Actually, tourism was declared as industry in 1993, way back in 1993, and then all these policies and legal frameworks were enacted last year only. So that means Mizoram tourism is still in the nascent stage. We are just trying to take off from what we are here. So there is a lot to do in the Mizoram tourism. Let's see how we can take this milestone to a further. And then the next one is we have 72 hotels with 608 rooms only, 13 private hotels, 77 government-sponsored homestays, and 8 tour operators. All these are the Mizoram tourism service providers. We are still lagging behind among the NorthEast states also. We are also unprepared. There is a constraining quality and quantity of HRD, and lack of supporting facilities, and lack of tourism awareness among the people, among the public, and absence of educational and research activities amid the tourism. This is tourism. We have very few tourists even in the pre-COVID period. In 2019-20, and then we received only 1.6 lakh visitors in 2019-20. That is 14% of the total population visited the state during the pre-pandemic period. Mizoram population is around 11 lakhs, and then in 2019-20 we received 1.6. That means 14% of the total population. But our annual grade is very impressive, and the annual growth rate is 81.04% in case of domestic travelers, and 30% in the foreign travelers. These are the activities we can offer. So we started Mizoram Tourism Monhu last year. This is separately with initiatives. Mizoram Tourism Monhu is that is 2D Puifang cycling convention, that is 53 kilometers, and the mountain biking trail Sakarwit Waitan, that is near Aizawl, and Heritage Walk Aizawl to Dungan 23 kilometers, which is recently was held, and the marathon also cycling to promote tourism. And then social media and the IT services, we have a very strong presence in social media networks. We have Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, 10K and 25K, 31K, and then we have, and then we are also getting the Mizoram tourism website with mobile apps and MIS reporting format. And then one more thing is that we just developed a website for the Aizawl golf course and resort. Online booking is online booking, and all these facilities are available there. And then online promotion campaign, Mystical Mizoram, and then we conducted a series of webinars with outsiders and insiders also, and then awareness campaigns, and with various students unions with Mizoram, and then participating in local channels, and then promotional campaigns in the Spice Screen also. And then we have many constraints to promote the Mizoram tourism as well. And then the constraint is erratic air services connectivity and lack of information. Lack of information as a sense, and then beyond the brochure, I'm talking about the beyond the brochure. There is no much of things to see on the internet about the resort of tourism. We are still trying to to increase our presence in the social media and the Google, the search engine optimization and all. And then absence of proper policy regulations, that we just had the proper regulation last year only. Before that, we do not have that kind of thing. And low level of awareness on tourism. This is very important because some people, they are very simple. They are very simple, but we lack the importance of the awareness and importance of the tourism, because we do not have manufacturing units, we do not have industrial units in the state. Only the tourism is the best option available for the benefits of the people, for the economic growth of the people. And absence of proper destination planning, because this planning was never existed there. And low budgetary provision, though we had only 10 crore for the budget, like for all the salaries and all these thing. And then for the promotion also we have only 10 lakhs every year, just like that only. So it is quite difficult for the Mizoram tourism to to move ahead with other states, to catch up with other states. And lack of alternative means of transport, low level of marketing and publicity, as I already talked. And permit system. The permit system, the ILP system is, people are complaining that the permit system is very tedious and very troublesome. And then we sent the comment to the home department regarding the easing out of all these hassle-free permit system for the travelers to Mizoram. So let's see how will they take our suggestions and advices. Absence of tourism service providers, tour guides, and all these things. But actually, tour guides were we recently we had 89 tour guides last year only. And then way forward, responsible tourism policy initiatives, and then we're trying to make ecotourism villages in those three villages, Kabra, Kenzol, and Ailong, and promotion of all these nature-based adventure tourism and adventure tourism and culture, extension of working capital, that is the proposal has been sent to the government website, and putting the state as a quiet travel destination amidst the COVID-19, better infrastructure and publicity, encouraging public-private partnership, has a free travel system, smarter tour guides, greater awareness of tourism. And this is the responsible tourism, responsible travel pledge we have, that is approved by the state government, by the cabinet, the council of ministers. Dhanyavad, Kalome, thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. This was a very, very nice, interesting presentation from the government of Mizoram. And may I call upon Mr. Manoranjan Hazarika, our Tourist Information Officer, Assam Tourism, to come to the dais now.
A very good morning to everyone. I'm Manoranjan Hazarika from Tourism Government of Assam. I welcome all to the NorthEast Festival on behalf of Assam Tourism. Today we have with us Honorable Chairman Assam Tourism Development Corporation, Sri Tuporna Burwa sir, and our former Commissioner Secretary Tourism, Sri Rajdev Hussain sir. Before we start, let me present you a video on Assam Tourism. for giving us this platform for the promotion of Assam tourism. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hajarika. I have been told that a significant number of people across the country has joined this session. If they all can switch on their camera, I would like to take a few pictures by displaying that on the screen. So if you please switch on your cameras so that we can see you and take pictures. If you can hear me, and please switch on your camera so that we can see you and take a picture before moving on to the next presentation, please. Okay, we carry on. Okay, may I now request Honorable Chairman, Assam Tourism Development Corporation, Shri Rituparna Borwal, to please come and make his presentation, sir.
Good morning, namaskar. Respected representatives of various northeastern tourism departments, Honorable President ADTOI, Honorable President IOTA, Honorable Secretary General of ATOAI, members from our tour operating of TOAA, and tour operators, members joining all over India, our respected Shyamkanu Mohanto, chief organizer in this event, our respected Rajbir Hussain, and all the media person. Northeast India now is ready for taking giant strides towards development. A region with enormous resources and potential has laid behind to rest of India long time. During independence, the undivided Assam was the fifth largest economy in India. At the time, the region was having seamless connectivity with the rest of the world through Chittagong port and through Bhutan. But things has changed since 2014 after Narendra Modi, Honorable Prime Minister, took charge. He has personally ensured that Northeast India gets requisite focus from the ministry, and series of developmental projects has been initiated. The security scenario of the region have improved dramatically.
Is enabled to save audio highlights.
And as of now, most of Northeast India is peaceful. With peace big, the development projects are in full swing. 4-lane highways construction is going on in a rapid pace throughout Northeast. Air connectivity has improved by leaps and bounds. Now Guwahati is one of the most busiest airport in the country. Connectivity to Gangtok, Pasighat, Tezu, Aizawl, Imphal all improved dramatically, making Northeast a well-connected area. The reason main strength tourism is booming right now. With spectacular cultural diversity, exotic location, excellent weather, and very good security scenario, Northeast is going to be the next best tourism destination of the country. Post-COVID, plenty of tourists expected to come. Tourism is going to be the biggest employment creator in the Northeast. From Assam tourism side, we have plans to develop capacity among the tourism stakeholders such as tour guides, agents, driver, etc. to give a very positive tourism experience in the Northeast. Efforts will be made on creating a marketing campaign for Northeast to promote the region across India. Under the great vision of Dynamic Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma, a requisite tourism infrastructure on tourism sector is being developed. Assam is actually a paradise unexplored. Largest concentration of wildlife sanctuary, one of the biggest river in the world, Brahmaputra, a very diverse culture including revered Kamaikha, Satriya culture and a spectacular tribal culture, handloom products, adventure sports. Assam is gateway to the beautiful destination of India, Northeast India. Earlier, people to talk about law and order and connectivity bottleneck. Nowadays, Assam is one of the most safest state in the country with excellent connectivity. Assam's BTC area, Dima Hasao and Karbi Anglong areas now ready to welcome tourists. Fully unexplored, well-connected and brilliant tourist values. Post-COVID, I would urge tour operators across India to send tourists to Assam and the rest of Northeast. Indian domestic tourists can change the economy of India. People are tired of concrete jungles, pollution. They will get peace amidst nature of Assam and Northeast India. Accommodation facilities have improved drastically. We are ready to give a very good experience to tourists all across. I would like to urge ADI, TOI, IOTA, ATO, AI to organize regular convention in Assam and Northeast region. We would felicitate you and would encourage you to send tourists to our region. We are always with you. And lastly, I would like to thank Mr. Shyamkanta Mahanta and the organizing team of Northeast Festival for bringing the various tourism stakeholders of Northeast in common platform. Northeast Festival is a platform for tourism. It showcases every aspect of the Northeast tourism can one place, and I am very happy to see large response of tour operators across India today in this tourism conclave. This networking, this understanding of need of tourism community is very important for us as we move towards preparing Assam and the region as the most favored tourism destination of the country. And I am sure with your support, Assam will achieve its dream with our neighboring states in coming days. Once again, I thank Shyamkanta Mahanta for inviting me and organizing a Northeast Festival which was scheduled in Delhi, but also but has changed to Guwahati in last minute due to COVID issue in Delhi. I thank Ministry of Tourism, Government of India for supporting this initiative because COVID will end soon. We must be ready to bring tourists to the region, and this program will definitely help in this regard. Once again, I offer my sincere thanks to everyone for attending the meet. Jai Hind, Jai Aho.
Thank you, Mr. Borwa, for your encouraging words. It is indeed true that Northeast is much better connected today than only a few years ago. New airlines have started. For tour operators across the country also, it is a great opportunity to create entirely new programs with new flights being operated between Guwahati and parts of Arunachal Pradesh, for example, Pasighat and Tezu. New itineraries, new programs, new areas can be covered by combination of different states. As we all know, visitors to Northeast usually cover at least a minimum of 2 states in their single trip, if not 3. And opportunities of combining different states have increased manifold, and we are expecting that many more visitors will start coming in next winter. We know what is happening currently. Besides the different initiatives taken by the state governments, the government of India is also pumping infrastructure into these areas, and new roads, airports are being bettered and newer ones are being built. For example, the proposed national tourism policy will set out 5 broad missions for the country's tourism sector. These 5 missions for the country's tourism sector are the National Green Tourism Mission, National Digital Tourism Mission, National Mission for Tourism Skilling, National Mission for Destination Management, and National Mission for Tourism SMEs. So with the adoption of this national tourism policy that is being drafted right now, I'm sure Northeast India will get further benefit out of these presences. Now, may I request our Indian Association of Tour Operators President, Mr. Rajiv Mehra, to kindly join us. He is joining digitally from Delhi. Mr. Mehra, you are co-host and you can unmute to speak and address the gathering here. Welcome, Mr. Mehra.
Thank you very much, Nirmala. Good afternoon, friends, ladies and gentlemen, and the organizers of the Northeast Festival. It is an honor for me to be here and talk about the of Northeast India and the ideal destination of tourism post-COVID may be viewed under 4 broad heads. First of all, what would be called post-COVID? The second is destination and products. The third is some of the important tourist subjects of Northeast India. And 4, concluding with the imperatives. On the first point, post-COVID, a tour would like to experience a destination that aligns itself with nature in an inviting way. The ecology, the pollution-free environment, and the befitting accommodation with a focus on hygiene, health, and safety. The Northeast sizably caters to these plus boosts of homestays that can attract tourists in the post-COVID area. Post-COVID, the traditional holidaying would change to new trends that can become as active and experienced holidays, where tourists would prefer to take part in different recreational activities while visiting new region. Tourists are more physical, actually active than previously. More and more tourists would look into to participate in recreation, sports, adventure, and experience the history, culture, natural environment, and wildlife of the area they visit. The growing diversity of tourism market is well witnessed through the recreational demand of tourists visiting northeast part of India. Interestingly, more tourists would want to pursue their special interest and hobbies that leads to growth of special interest tourism based on the aspect of nature, history, culture, economic and professional activities and academic interest. The rapid change in the nature of tourism industry and its interrelationship with natural and cultural environment necessitates new paradigm to manage tourism post-COVID. Post-COVID, tourists would like to commute in their own cars within the region and address the concept of stay precautions, and this would be possible as one drives from Guwahati to Shillong to Cherrapunji or Guwahati to Alganga and other drivable tourism sites. Secondly, the northeastern part of India comprises a state of great physical and human diversities to project it as one of the most potential areas of the country in respect of an eco-environment. The state of Northeast India are dotted with some snow-capped mountain peaks, lush green canopies, vibrant valleys, hilly streams, national parks, and vast tea gardens. Another fact of Northeast India is its tribal people. Northeast India is well blessed by nature, besides lying at the center of one of the world's richest biogeographical area. It is treasure house of various economic resources. It has a rich culture and ethnic heritage that can easily make it a tourist spot post-COVID. The hilly states of the region may provide ample scope for nature as well as land and water-based adventure tourism activities where traditional expertise of trekking, hiking and jungle exploration of native people may be well accommodated and lure tourists in post-COVID scenarios. Now, some of the important tourist sectors of the Northeast India, as per my thinking, are first, Assam and Meghalaya tourist circuit, that is Guwahati Airport, Shillong, Cherrapunji, Dwaki, Shillong, Kaziranga National Park, and back to Guwahati. Second is Assam Wildlife Tourist Circuit, Guwahati Airport, Manas National Park, Nemen National Park, Kaziranga National Park, Jorhat, or Guwahati Airport. Then we have Nagaland and Manipur tourist sector, Dimapur Airport, Kohima, Imphal, Loktak Lake, Endro Village, Imphal Airport. The fourth one is Western Arunachal Pradesh tourist circuit, which is arrival in Guwahati Airport, Darang, Tewang, Bomodila, and Guwahati. Then we have Assam and Central Arunachal Pradesh tourist circuit, which is Guwahati Airport, Balipara, Zero, Alo, Mechuk, Alo, Dibrugarh Airport. And the sixth one is the Tirupura tourist circuit, which is Agartala Airport, Udaipur, Unopoti, and then back to airport. Then Mizoram, we have the Aizawl Airport, Aizawl local sightseeing and day trip to Creek, and then back to Aizawl Airport. Many of these circuits have not been explored by the foreign tourists, not even by the domestic tourists, and need to be aggressively promoted. Well, conclusively, having identified what tourists would seek and matching their taste is what the Northeast region has to offer. Please allow me to capture that successful development and operation of tourism sector in the region requires better management of local government level guides, facilitate and coordinate the process so that tourism ventures can sustain in local socio-economic situations and contribute meaningful in the areas concerned. Creation of a brand of promoters and policymakers is also the need of the hour. It can be done by extending need-based tourism, education and short and long-term tourism manpower development strategy which will help in emerging an organized tourism sector in the region capable of giving the fruit of tourism to the tourists as also the locals. Hence, adoption of sustainable tourism strategy of an urgent need to utilize the tourism potential of the Northeast region of India that have a huge potential to cater to the discriminating tourists in the post-COVID tourism. Now, before I conclude, the representative of the Assam government said that whether it's ITO or ATTOI or adventure, they must have their conventions in Assam. Now, in this connection, I would like to say that when I was there in 27 September in Guwahati, the tourism minister on the stage said that we will call 90 members of IATO for a post for a 1-week tour of Assam. That has not happened so far. So we have to stick to what we say, then only tourism promotion can be done by all the associations in that area. This is very important because without this promotion, without our members visiting these areas, it cannot be done. So I once again take this opportunity here for requesting the Honorable Tourism Minister of Assam that whatever he had committed on 27 September, whether it is the promotion of members of Assam for a week tour, for a holistic tour, or for other benefits he had announced for tour operators, travel agents, guides, must be fulfilled for better development, and that will have a sense of security that whatever the government says, they will fulfill, and that goes with all the states in the Northeast. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mehra, for your words. And because of the paucity of time, moving on straight to the President of the Association of Domestic Tour Operators of India, Honorable Mr. P.P. Khanna now. Mr. Khanna, you have been made co-host, but you can unmute and start addressing us, sir. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me? Namaskar and good afternoon to all the government delegates on the dais, along with my fraternity friends and media. I am really delighted and I feel honored to be invited to be part of this NorthEast Festival and offer my sincere thanks to organizers of NorthEast Festival, special thanks to Shri Shamkaru Mahanta and his team for the invite. Ladies and gentlemen, Association of Domestic Tour Operators of India, National Body of Domestic Tour Operators was formed in 1996 with express purpose of consolidating efforts of all those tour operators who are actively engaged in the promotion of domestic tourism in the country, which currently more than we have 800 members. In 2019, Anytime NorthEast chapters were formed in Guwahati and we are growing in numbers in NorthEast. As you all know, the pandemic has made us realize that domestic tourism holds the key to tourism post-pandemic. Today, it is a pleasure to be back to NorthEast Festival Forum after 2 years. The chapter members are taking initiative to highlight the hidden gems of the state so that they can be showcased across India. NorthEast rural destinations abound in immense beauty and displays rich cultures and heritage. NorthEast India is close to the eastern states of West Bengal and Sikkim, and as you know, my day starts with the wonderful cup of Shanti, and the tea gardens are a must-visit destination of the town. So we have seen the presentations from all the states of NorthEast. But let me tell you, Assam is the gate of our NorthEast abounds in emerald plains, in dense forests and gorgeous rivers such as Brahmaputra River. It is good to know that luxury cruises are operated mainly considering inbound. It is my request to the Assam government that they should look into the domestic travelers also, and there should be a night stay in the cruise. There will be a totally different experience for the travelers. Let me take to Arunachal Pradesh, though the first Indian soil to greet the morning sun, and Arunachal Pradesh offering nature, wildlife, adventure, famous, and its monastery. It was world famous. Manipur, the land of jewels, the diverse culture of the state is depicted in martial arts, dance, music, handloom, handicrafts. Mizoram, the land of the Blue Mountains. Mizoram is an exotic natural location and vibrant religion, tradition, and heritage. Let me come back to the Meghalaya, the Hall of the Cloud is one of the most important ecoregions subject to the country. Nagaland, the state presents winter in full bloom. The annual festival is celebrated at Kohima between 1st to 10th of December, and we were there last time when I came in Nagaland. And the festival is aimed at reviving, protecting, and sustaining the richness of Naga culture, heritage, dance, craft, games, sports, food, fairs, religious ceremonies. We were really amazed to see that, the festival there. And let me come back to the last Zebra. It offers magnificent, palaces, splendid, rock cut carving and stone images, important holy destinations, etc. Dear friends, community-based tourism is emerging as a strong form of tourism in NorthEast, and NDTOI, the domestic tour operators of India, NorthEast sector is playing a vital role in it. NDTOI, CSR and women empowerment wing is taking initiatives for bringing forward tourism women entrepreneurs in the region and also empowering the lady executives in their offices. Besides, they are working in forming women entrepreneurs networks where women in tourism allied activities are encouraged to come forward. So that's the initiative by our, the women empowerment team, and our editorial lady members are giving them a hand holding to support them and train them. Also, the Northeast chapter members have started with statewide sector knowledge webinar series. It's a very important factor, and in 2021, last quarter, we conducted a webinar on Northeast India and again on Putra as a tourist destination for members pan India, and more webinars are being planned for the Northeast sector with our pan India members. Those who are promoting domestic tourism. The webinar was also organized on rebuilding tourism in Northeast, connecting tour operators, hotels and service providers. Our aim was to plan for the new normal in tourism and be armed with the preparedness to welcome tourists to Northeast India, where candidates were from all the states, and it was a very wonderful knowledge session for all of us. I have few suggestions which I want to put in front of the panel today and the government of Northeast Tourism Department. Like if you have seen that the Delhi Heart, which has come up in Delhi, is very famous as it showcases handicraft, tribal culture, dance, its food, the attire, at one center place for tourists and local alike. We should have the same hard concept in all Northeast regions too. As it can showcase and promote the local handicraft, silk, spices, food, dances, tribal culture at one center place for tourists and locals alike. This is my suggestion that this kind of heart should be also be promoted and should be opened in all the Northeast sections. Another suggestion which I want to give for the Northeast, the promotion is an online SSCP. SSCP means State Certificate Program. Should be started where the tour operators all over India, including local ones, can get themselves certified to promote the region and then only be eligible for PAM, study tours, etc. This will enhance the knowledge of the service providers and offer better quality service to tourists. I think you have understood what I want to say, that you should organize. Every Northeast region state should organize a state specialist program for the tour operators, so that they get the knowledge and they promote that particular region or the state. We also promote, like Mr. Mehra, NNC has also, said that we should also organize some kind of a convention along with all the Northeast tourist departments and the regions, and anytime along with the ISO and other associations like Adventure, should organize a particular convention for the Northeast sector so that all pan-India participation of all the tour operators to promote and enhance, particularly the domestic tourism at the moment in Northeast sector, which is the only savior at the moment till the pandemic exists. Lastly, I appeal to all my tour operators that with extensive Northeast, the attraction, its charm and potential, and we should also promote the Northeast and make this region, Northeast region, as the best region and the best Northeast state in India. Thank you very much, and God bless. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khanna. Thank you for your kind words of encouragement. Looking forward to more insights from you in future. May I now invite Honorary Secretary, Adventure Tour Operators Association of India, Mr. Vinayak Kaul. Mr. Kaul, you can unmute yourself to address us, sir.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir. Please begin.
Thank you. Thank you, Shamkanuji, for inviting me to speak here and address this August gathering. Welcome and good afternoon, friends. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for your time. Our previous speakers, my respected colleagues from IATO, ADTOI, and the various tourism departments have already covered many parts of Northeast in depth. So to avoid repetition, let me talk about the national adventure scenario. If I talk about the current scenario, the COVID times, we all are aware how COVID has changed our lives for now and possibly for a very long time. How people plan their travel, on what they spend, with whom they travel, how long they would travel, etc. etc. In the middle of all this, adventure tourism gives a lot of hope. Terms like physical distancing, avoiding crowded places, respecting your body has been common in discussions in the last year or so. It's no brainer to see how adventure tourism can give answers to many of our worries of travel to a large extent. The current times have stated that adventure and activity holidays are the way forward. As adventure tourism globally hurdles to be a $1.6 trillion industry by 2026, travelers seek more outdoor and experiential and fun experiences. Adventure travel has grown exponentially in India over the past 2 decades. We have one of the best natural resources in the world with mind-boggling comparative advantages of natural wonders and more. You talk about a holiday, you talk about type of a holiday, you have that in India. Mountains, deserts, beaches, rivers, forests, the list is endless. And so is the amount of adventure potential. We have about 3,000 kilometers of coastlines, about 700,000 square kilometers of forest. We have the largest segment of greatest mountain chain in the world, the Himalaya, that stretches to about 2,400 kilometers. 70% of the entire Himalayan range lies within India. About 400,000 square kilometers of desert lie in India. More than 40,000 square kilometers, 40,000 kilometers of rivers are in India. And I'm counting only the 8 longest rivers in India. Unclimbed peaks, unexplored caves, virgin rivers, remote Himalayan treks. The list again is endless. Cultures that are unique and diverse. We are one of the top 3 countries with 6,000 plus meter peaks and the most 7,000 meter plus mountains in our country. We are the only country with a combination of golden and silver desert. We also have equatorial and tropical rainforest, vast alpine regions, a functional volcano, largest mangroves in the world. We have 7 navigable rivers and 105 minor whitewater rivers. Not only this, we are the largest and arguably the best coral islands of the world. No wonder, as per World Economic Forum's travel and tourism competitiveness rankings, we are in the top 10 in the world for our natural heritage. India is a 12-month destination as far as adventure travel goes. Most have this impression that it's only for summers. Most have this impression about when you talk about adventure, mountains come immediately in the mind. While as we do have plenty of adventure potential for winter months as well. If I talk about its reach in terms of economy, it provides employment in the remotest corners of the country. Adventure travel ensures 65 to 90% of tourism dollars remains in the regions we work in. These go directly to families, vendors, transporters, suppliers, workers, guides, porters, boatymen, all engaged with our operations. Adventure Tour Operators Association, founded in 1994, represents interest of 15,000 adventure stakeholders and has been instrumental in establishing national safety guidelines for about 30 adventure verticals, SOPs for post-COVID-19 protocols for guests, running skill development workshops, guide training programs, wilderness first aid certifications, liaising with central and state governments to formulate policy processes, working to grant recognitions of adventure tour companies, running cleanup campaigns and promoting responsible tourism. Let me assure you that all the responsible adventure service providers who have started their operations are very serious about code guidelines. They have been working day and night before they open shop. There are SOPs in place. They are being followed in letter and spirit. I take this opportunity to highlight that it's our duty to promote responsibly and also then to operate responsibly. And as we are being viewed over social media and online, I feel we will have customers also watching us For them also my message is, please do buy responsibly, and then when you travel, travel responsibly. Responsible adventure tourism minimizes negative social, economic and environmental impacts. It generates great economic upsides for locals and offers them direct access to the industry. It plays a huge role in the conservation of natural and cultural heritage and greater understanding of local cultural, social, environmental issues. There is so much to explore in our country that even one life is not enough. I've said this in many of my previous discussions. To live and experience each and every offering we have, you need more than one life. And I feel it's our responsibility towards our country, our people, that we must first put India on our priority when thinking of our holidays. Before looking out for countries overseas. And yes, we are being watched and by our friends from all across the world. For them also, India has got huge potential, which I just quickly briefed earlier. Yes, at times local facilities and infrastructure is not very motivating. But here I quote, which I have done in past as well, our Prime Minister, who on 15th August 2 years back asked for all of us to see at least some place in our own country in a year without getting bothered much about the comforts. He mentioned that once people start traveling, and why I'm mentioning over here because at times this goes for Northeast as well, that places lack on facilities, the connectivity is not great. And I take huge personal inspiration from this. There can be times where you are traveling with elders or kids and comfort can be on priority, but you can mix and match. Once you start traveling to these places, once you start traveling to your Northeast, the facilities will come, the connectivity will come, the forms like this where we are today will raise up issues and will develop the destination. Coming to where we are today, with the advent of what may potentially be a third wave, the priority is to keep safe, stay responsible, keep our teams out of harm's way, and to keep clients safe and outdoors. Most importantly, we are striving to offer products that can follow good practices with small bubble groups, keeping the learnings from first and second waves on top of our minds. We feel this is possible and maybe the only approach to keep operations alive and sustainable. As the new year begins, we already have seen 2 years of largest ever disruption the travel industry has experienced. Although we endured wave after wave, I'm happy to report that our community, our industry continues to innovate, adapt and rebuild, survive and thrive. The first signs of bloom are visible with top-notch SOPs, confidence-building operations, ready to solve for everything that has been thrown at us over the last 2 years. We believe the next 5 years will be massive for adventure travel. The Indian adventure travel community is bouncing back, growing, rebuilding, and anyone who is watching and listening today has done very well to survive these unprecedented times. Last but not the least, I have said this in past, and I'm not going to shy away from repeating it, that Northeast has the potential to become the adventure tourism capital of India. And I'll keep repeating it at every platform and keep working for it on the ground till we make it one. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kaul. Thank you for your kind words and correctly enumerating that Northeast has the potential to become the adventure capital of India, adventure tourism capital of India. There are many private organizations, enthusiasts of adventure tourism who is already working hard in the segment within the region. And even for guests walking from one village to another through the traditional routes in the states of Mizoram or Meghalaya or in Arunachal Pradesh itself is an adventure. If we combine that over a period of 4 nights, covering one village each day or maybe 2 villages each day and walking from one point to the next instead of taking a car, then itself becomes a very, very interesting soft adventure activity open for many, many people. There are obviously more technical stuff available. We will be talking further on this with Mr. Kaul. But now it is time for me to call upon the stage Ms. Shreya Barbora, CEO, Landscape Safari, to make a presentation on behalf of the Tour Operators Association of Assam. Ms. Barbora, please.
afternoon, everyone. My regards to all the dignitaries present on the dais here, the viewers who have connected to us virtually, and everyone present here. With the new generation of tourists, there has been a paradigm shift in the travel trends recently, and COVID-19 pandemic has further altered tourism in the region. Post-COVID, travel trends seem to be close to nature, or what we call like the hashtag travel trends. Then we have travelers of all age groups are wanting some special interest that to which they travel, and travel is more becoming the theme-based travel. Significantly, domestic travelers trends have become very, very dynamic. While traveling with family is still prominent or predominant, we are also witnessing special interest groups like senior citizen group, the millennial generation groups, the student excursions. So each group has a special interest, and the standard ready-made itineraries do not seem to really fit in every time, and we need to add in something special, something exclusive to every inquiry or to every booking that we have. And it's time for basically customization of the itineraries. And Assam is a beautiful state with its rich heritage, the culture, the pilgrimage centers, the wildlife and adventure hubs, and numerous festivities. So on behalf of tour operators of Association of Assam, let me present a brief highlight of the Assam as a tourist destination, highlighting some of the unexplored regions. The historical traits. Assam has got a glorious past, and it can be witnessed in the art, the architecture, the various rock inscriptions and other archaeological remains at various locations across the states, which forms interesting circuits to be explored. We have the Sivsagar Jorhat Dibrugarh region, which highlights the glorious era of the Ahom dynasty, which had reigned for more than 600 years from the 13th century. We have Guwahati and the northern Guwahati region. We have Hajo, Moregaon, Tejpur region. Now these regions provide a glimpse of the culturally flourishing ancient cities and capitals of the Kamrup kingdom, the ancient Kopili Valley kingdom, and other archaeological treasures dating back to the 6th or the 7th century. And the region also has tales of the British era and also heroism of the Ahom dynasty. The Maibong region is there in the Dima Hasao district and displays marvelous monolithic archaeological sites belonging to the Dima Hasao kingdom. Then Dubri Gwalpara Bongaigaon region is also there, where the archaeological sites like the Khurja Pahar and some British era art and architecture are also very, very predominant. Tea tourism is another very, very crucial theme in Assam, and Assam tea is known for its unique taste, the flavor, and it is the first tea garden was established in Assam in 1840s. The famed tea, the tale of the two leaves and a bud, which is very, very interesting to witness as the tea pluckers pluck during the plucking season, and the heritage tea bungalows, which talk a lot about the British era culture, the colonial era, and the Jumur dance in the evening, which you can witness in these tea gardens, and forms the major attraction for tourists. And tea bungalow stays are available in Assam, in Dibrugarh, Jorhat, Koliabor, Balipara areas. And here in Assam, tea garden also gets an added flavor with the famous golf courses that are there near the tea gardens, or in some cases within the bungalow properties. And we can also club this with the oil city of Assam, Dibrugarh tea gardens can be clubbed with that, and they are an important part of Assam's heritage, where the oldest oil well in Asia, which is still in operation, and the first refinery which started in 1901 is there. The river cruises. Now river cruises are another very, very intriguing part of tourism, because Brahmaputra is the lifeline of Assam. And cruises on the Brahmaputra are a wonderful way of discovering Assam, the culture, the heritage, and wildlife viewing as well. So in Guwahati city, tourists can be enthralled by the majestic views of the sunset over the Brahmaputra, or even the city lights. through the sunset cruises, the short cruises basically, the dinner cruises and day-long river island outings. And some luxury cruise liners are also there, which also offers a bit longer itinerary starting from 3 to 14 days cruises. So that can be availed as well. And Assam's only hill station is located in Haflong, that is located in Dimang South district. And it's a beautiful hill station, and which can be reached now with the recently launched Vista Dome train, which goes from Guwahati. And Haflong is also a very, very beautiful region with wonderful waterfalls and streams and lovely forests and majestic views of the Moraine range. There is also the Julema festival, which is a prominent festival held there. And Japinga is a bird watching site where famous migratory birds come by, and that's very, very famous. And Maibong is also a famous archaeological historical site as well. And the Panimur waterfalls along the Kopili River, which is located about 120 kilometers from Haflong, is another beautiful location which can be visited. Assam is also very, very famous for the pilgrim sites, which are, which coexist, and the main pride of the region is that the coexistence of different religions, the Hindus, the Christians, the Mohammedans, the Buddhists, all communities come together, worship together. There's a unique blend of cultures that have also come out with this trends. And and here I would also like to highlight on Majuli, which is a unique river island on the Brahmaputra River, and it's highly cultural and rich cultural heritage. It is Majuli is hailed as the cultural capital of Assam, and it dates back to the 16th century, and it is the birthplace of the Assamese Neo-Vaishnavite cultures. And revered Vaishnavite, the Assamese monasteries, or the Khatras as we call them, are established on these islands. And as the hub of the Neo-Vaishnavite culture, the Khatras are the center of art, the culture, literature, and classical studies. And you also have the classical dance, Khattiya Nritya, which is very, very famous again. Rural Assam. Now, rural Assam is something, the hidden gems which are available in each and every village of rural Assam is so different, so unique, and the customs, the traditions which they have, and this is completely multi-hued tradition that the region has. And the prime attractions are the early morning, misty morning village walks, the villagers' day activities which they perform amidst the beautiful nature that you have, the paddy fields, and many villages have the Brahmaputra River flowing by, and there's a rich culture, heritage, and most importantly, the Tathal, which we call the Assamese weavers, the lady weavers will aptly weave a lot of Assamese fabrics, the Eri Pak and Muga, which is very, very world famous. And there's a lot of vibrance in these villages as well, because each village has got different kind of festivities which happen throughout the year, and each destination and each itinerary that we do in Assam can be clubbed with one village visit. So basically, while planning a trip to Assam, kindly keep aside at least a day so that you can explore the beautiful, lovely villages of Assam. And an ethnic meal is a must try of these Assamese villages. Lovely, lovely places, wonderful places of the Assam's rural gems. And Assam is also, a tour to Assam cannot be completed without visiting the wildlife destinations and the experiencing thrilling adventure activities as well. Assam has 7 national parks: the Kaziranga National Park, the Manas National Park, Nameri National Park, Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park, Dibru Saikhowa National Park, Raimona National Park, and Dihin Patkai National Park. Besides, there are many wildlife sanctuaries as well. Wildlife in Assam has an exclusive birding zones. They are home to many rare and endangered species and forms the conservation sites, besides being the natural habitat for conservation of biological diverse flora and fauna. Adventure activities like jeep and elephant rides, rafting, camping and eco stays, cycling, all these are available in plenty across Assam. So basically Assam is a beautiful, beautiful land of history, of culture, heritage, wildlife, the exotic nature, and the round the year festivities that keep happening one by one. And Assam has many circuits, and we wish you to visit all these circuits. In fact, we wish you to come back again and again and to witness the vibrance of Assam. So we welcome you to Assam, and with a lot of love and regards from Tour Operators Association of Assam. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Gorgora, for your presentation of Assam. There is so much to see, so many things to do in the state of Assam alone. May I call upon Mr. Arijit Purka as the Managing Director of Koili Travels and also the Chairman of ADTOI Northeast Chapter to make the next presentation, please.
Sorry. Respected members of the dais, Namaskar, Kublai, Chibai. My presentation in Northeast India, the 7 states, I hope I can do justice in 7 minutes time. Northeast will take a huge amount of time, but anyway, it's an odyssey of unlimited adventure with the internet traveler among South Asia's most vibrantly multicultural, multilingual societies, sequestered in the far-flung reach of India's Northeast region. Now, Northeast is photographers' delight. Northeast tours are getting specialized to local tour operators of Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland operators as they are combining photography, experience with adventure. Tourists are able to capture photos that they have not seen before anyway. Now, just imagine when you are traveling to Tawang, half of the fun of visiting Tawang lies in getting there. So wherever we are going, whichever states we are going, that's the fun of traveling, the adventure and the experiences. Like if you go to Zero in eastern Arunachal, is home to the Apatani people who are environmentally conscious community who practices wetland cultivation. The paddy farms here develop as fish cultivations with farmers using traditional irrigation technique to rear fish in knee-deep water. Where else you will able to see this? Moving into Manipur, Manipur has rightly been called the jewel land. In fact, it's a land of many glittering jewels. The graceful Manipuri dance, the many forms of travel, music and dance and lively culture of theatre and literature are unique to the state. Battle of Imphal. While World War II, it is largely seen as a battle that did not touch India, but Manipur history says otherwise, and is a grim reminder of the ravage of the deadly 20th century World War. The Battle of Imphal raged for 3 months. The tour covers, the local tour operators of Manipur, they covers the sites of the war in this region. This includes the airfield, Imphal War Cemetery, the Red Hills, and the only Japanese war memorial in India. Imagine, only Japanese war memorial in India. Moving to Meghalaya, Ethnically, Meghalaya is dominated by indigenous communities of Khasis, Garos and Jaintias. Straddling the line between tradition and modernity is the capital city of Shillong, which attracts visitors with its British-era architecture and mesmerizing natural attractions and diverse landscapes of cloud-kissed peaks, lakes, sacred groves, and meandering rivers. This blended mix of natural features and fascinating cultures makes a trip to Meghalaya an incredibly thrilling experience. Agriculture is the main source of livelihood. The countryside offers stunning scenes of neatly fenced rice, potato, cauliflower and maize field framed against the green hills. And around Cherrapunji, we are all aware of the Living Root Bridge, that suspension bridge, the double-decker bridge. Moving on a little further, the Umnat River in Meghalaya is famous to be one of the cleanest river on earth. Water of Umnat River is so clear that the riverbed can be seen even from a suspension footbridge high above. Movement of fish and other aquatic species virtually gives the tourists an awesome underwater experience even without actually going underwater, as I cannot go underwater because of my medical problem, but I can, feel it when I go to Umnat River. Moving on to Mizoram, the sociable, hospitable and fun-loving. The Mizos are one of the finest choir singers in NorthEast. Chero dance is a traditional cultural dance performed. In fact, they were in the Guinness Book of World Record in 2010 when a large number of Chero dancers danced together at the same time. The capital Aizawl, Mizoram's capital Aizawl, and then moving on to little adventure. This rake at an elevation of 1584 a meter is a mountain popular for scenic views. It's a short trek. About 30 kilometers from Aizawl, capital of Mizoram. And how many of us know the Tropic of Cancer passes through Mizoram, through Aizawl? Moving on to Nagaland, unity is strength. No one knew this better than the warrior tribes inhabiting Nagaland's harsh hills. Surviving in a world fraught with danger was the biggest challenge the Nagas faced. So it paid to be together, sharing both grief and happiness. And festivals were times to cement this unity. Nagaland is known as the land of festivals, as each tribe celebrates its own festival with dedication and passion. The Zugu Valley, it's a paradise for the trekkers. Moving on to Tripura, one of the relatively unknown holiday destinations of the NorthEast, is bundle full of surprises. Its cross-cultural ethnic diversity, its ancient temples, its vast tracts of natural beauty, and its rich tradition of handicraft are tempting enough to draw the discerning holidaymaker. The handicrafts of Tripura. And about 180 kilometers from Agartala, the 7th, 9th century, the stone and rock cut images, the Unakuti, the worship Shiv Shaktis, is an old tradition in Tripura. There are palaces in Tripura, in Agartala itself, which was built in 1901. Moving on to Assam, the final destination of the 7 states. In Assam and of course in NorthEast, village and agriculture go almost hand in hand. A peek into the village ways a rich tapestry of diversity. These are the places that still hold onto the traditions and customs that define our culture. Even in northeastern states, we were seeing that with the villages, the accommodations are coming up, the infrastructures are building up, whether it is in Assam or Meghalaya or Mizoram or Nagaland or any other places. Apart from the 3-star, 4-star, we are having nice properties in the villages. The greenery of the countryside especially is accentuated with the large green fields and together with monsoon. So NorthEast is now a year-round tourism. It's a 12-month tourism now. Go to a tourist village in a Bodo village or go to a Karbi village near Kaziranga, beyond wildlife. In my presentation, I am not putting up any wildlife over here. We have to go beyond wildlife. And Karbi village or Bodo village or any other villages, as Mahatma Gandhi said, the future of India lies in its villages. Now the textile tourism, whether it is in Assam or NorthEast, has rich tradition of textiles, which is being woven in every villages by women mostly. In Assam, three varieties of silk, commonly known as Assam silks, Muga, the golden silks, the mulberry, part silk, and the eri silk. Traditional attire includes mekhela chador, sling of cloth carrying babies, baby wrappers, and many more. You know, an interesting concept is that the ahimsa silk of eri comes from the caterpillar of Samia rikini, found in Assam and its neighboring states like Meghalaya and other states. Eri silk or ahimsa silk or peace silk is a non-violent silk which does not require to kill the moth to extract the fiber. The moth leaves the cocoon and flies off. For this reason, eri silk is preferred material of Buddhists and Vegans. The word eri is derived from era, the Assamese word for castor, and is made from worms that feed on the leaves of the castor oil plant. The silkworm starts eating tender leaves as it grows and sheds its skins 4 times. After it's fully grown, it stops eating and starts secreting from the mouth and creates a cocoon around its body. And finally transforms into butterfly and flies away, leaving behind the ahimsa silk cocoon to develop young. And then they are dyed with tea leaves or onion peels, lac, or the natural iron and Assam indigo. So eri silk, the ahimsa silk or peace silk, is very strong, durable, and elastic. Eri silk is darker and heavier than other silks and blends well with the wool. So these are the activities, these kind of activities we show it to the tourists, take them to the villages, how eri silk is being prepared, the durable, and most important, due to the thermal properties, is warm in winter and cool in summer. Ladies and gentlemen, each state of Northeast is treasure trove. There are numerous places that stand out as a tourist destination and many upcoming destinations as well. In this presentation, we have tried to touch upon a few destinations in each state that are comparatively less traveled to them some others. Thank you.
Nivalda, moi last time I introduce you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prakash, for your very illuminating presentation. May I now call upon Mr. Mahanta, OSD Borderland Tourism, to make a short presentation. Please.
Good afternoon. My regards to everyone. So, we are from Borderland Tourism. When we talk about Borderland Tourism, there are basically 4 things comes to our mind: the clear sky, the clean water, full of greeneries, and lots of floras and faunas. So that is at Assam, that is the Bodoland for us. So now this is the land untouched. We have lots to do in terms of infrastructure and in terms of advertisement, so that foreign tourists come to this land. Believe me, once we are going through all this development, this will be the major attraction in Northeast. We have 2 national parks. One is Manas National Park and one is Raimona, which is recently declared in 5th of June. So there is one rare species which is only found in this region, that is golden langur. So that is going to be definitely going to be the major attraction for the tourists. Now, due to the COVID also, everybody is suffering, entire world is suffering, entire world tourism is suffering. So we are hopeful once it is done, we will develop our tourism department, we will develop our tourism sector, and it is going to be the biggest attraction for the tourists. So that is the in total, that is the Borderland tourism what we would like to tell you people. Actually, I was not prepared I think there was some other presentation for us. So anyway, as Shankar Mohanta sir has told us to give a presentation, so this is the short presentation we have given. Thanks all. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mahanta. World and Tourism's crowning glory is the World Heritage Site by UNESCO, Manas National Park. People who haven't visited must visit. One of the greatest, collection of flora and fauna that one can see in this magnificent, national park spread across two countries, India, the state of Assam, and also Bhutan, where it is called the Royal Manas National Park. May I call upon Mr. Rajvi Hussain, recently retired, not very much involved, Commissioner of Tourism, Government of Assam. Sir.
Thank you, Nimrata. Good afternoon, everybody. A happy new year to all of you. It's really a pleasure to be here among the tourism people. Although I retired just 2 months back in October, but still, as tourism is a passion for me, and I have been with the tourism department since 2017 to 2021, despite lots of promotions. So after that, even I have left the job, but I am very much with you, all of you. I would like to welcome Ritu Barua, who has taken over as the SCC chairman, an old friend of mine. Representatives from Boroland, Meghalaya, and Mizoram, and Boroland, and Nimallo, Orijit, and all the others online, starting from Rajiv Mehra, Pipi Khanna, Subhas Goyal, and all the tour operators who are family to me, and we have been met in many occasions. And I would like to especially thank Sham Kanu for his unrelentless zeal to go on with tourism, culture, handloom. Yesterday we had a conclave on industries, and I'll tell you today, whether you call me or not, I'll be there with you for your in future also. I would not like to stress on anything which already has been said here. I would like to tell you that now it is the time to act on. What we have not done is not important. What we are going to do is the most important thing, and this is the perfect platform for the northeastern states. And for this, I would like to mention that this March only in Radisson Blu is here itself. We had a meeting with the MOT where ADG Rupinder Brar Madam was there, and there I had made a submission that we should connect with the 7 sisters and 1 brother, that is the 8 states that are with us, that is the Northeast. So the Northeast must come together if we have to go forward with our tourism promotion. It is not come to Assam only, because whenever we go to outside the state, abroad, whenever we go to Europe, we do not see just one place and come back. We are taken to a host of other places. Like when I had been to Europe some 3-4 years ago, we had got down in Paris and we came out from Italy. And so it should be like that, because the Guwahati is the gateway. And now that we are having the connectivity of all the airports and in the other states also. So it's very good that we are having those things coming up. Like yesterday, Divedi sir was here and he told us about the connectivity with the ASEAN countries and the Go East policy that has been going on. I too was a part of transport department, so I know that we are nearer to Myanmar, Thailand, Bangkok than we are to Maharashtra, Ahmedabad or Chennai. So that way we should go to the east, and that is the one thing that I would like to say. And for this, as Ritumbarna Borwa is here, we must have more talks with the Ministry of Tourism. In fact, when I was in the service, I had talked with G. Kishan Reddy, Minister of Tourism, and told him about this thing that Northeast must come together to get a common platform. And for that, every 3 months, if we have a conclave, this is something that Shamkanu has brought us to. But this is something that the governments must come together. MOT being the father or the mother, whatever, and to collect all these people with the stakeholders. Stakeholders means the directors of the 8 states, the government officials of the state says, the tour operators, and all these people must come together to have a conclave, and those things may be rotated. It should not be everywhere, always in Guwahati. We would also like to visit Mizoram. We would also like to visit Kohima and the other states as well. So this is one thing that I would like to raise and again put up again. Next thing is the air connectivity. As I have already mentioned that air connectivity has come down. We were very happy to have the flight from Bangladesh and also the Thailand flight, but somehow because of COVID also there was a reason. But now only most probably the Drew Care is going, which goes to Bhutan, Paro. But I think that too is discontinued. So those things must come back, and like Nivedi sir told yesterday that the international flights are again back and will be back soon, and most probably this year we will see them again in a better way. One thing I would like to tell you that previously our destination was Kaziranga, Manas and 2-3 places which we had always, all people come over to Kaziranga. But with this thing in mind that the lesser known destinations, we had come up with a book Oporuk. And with that Oporuk has come out from a thing that I had told in the last NorthEast festival in this chamber itself, that COVID has become a blessing in disguise for that has come as a headline also in some paper. Why did sir say such a thing? COVID has come as a blessing in disguise for the domestic tourism. It's a fact, because when we do not have the people coming from abroad, we have the people who have, even the people in Assam have not seen. Upper Assam people have not seen Lower Assam people have not seen Assam. And this was a good thing when we got connected. And now again the COVID is on the rise, but last year people had travelled. People had travelled and there was more than 1 lakh or more visitors last year in the second half. Third thing I would like to say is that the river tourism cruises, Nimalo just now told me that 3 new cruises have come in. We must have more of those. And we are lucky to have our former CM and the present Minister of Shipping and Waterways, Mr. Sarbananda Sonal, who is going to address today afternoon, that he is at the helm of these affairs. And I too have been in touch with him, and with the river islands, which we could develop into something better and make it a better place. For the Brahmaputra, we must act on the Brahmaputra. We must, the people are here, Ashish Bhukan is there, Sanjay Basu is there, all these people are known people, Nimallo is there. So all these people we should get together with the IWT, with the AWAI, and then get these things into place for making the river tourism to come into place. The next thing I would like to stress, which Ritu Pranam and the other people from the other ministries should take, that is the government budget for the tourism should be increased. The government budget for the tourism is too meager for us to work on. I, being a government officer, has felt that pinch. Because whenever we want to do something, whether it is promotion in our way or in different way, or for helping people like Shamkanu Mohanta, we are at a loss. But to get those things together, we must have the budget to increase. Next is the Amaralohi scheme, which the homestay scheme which we have, which is after we have put up the first initial 2 times that we had put up, but it is now lying a bit dormant. For this chairman, ATDC may kindly look into it. So we should have more of this in places, because the tourist who is coming from abroad or from other states in Assam, they like to stay in that atmosphere, in that place. And so if they are in that place having those facilities, like recently last New Year's I went to Kaziranga. Kaziranga, because Guwahati was too overcrowded, there was lockdown at curfew at night, so that's why it was better to stay in Bonani, our own tourist guest house. And then I went to a Karbi village. There in the Karbi village, I saw that I had arranged it previously. They had given us everything in Chunga. All the Chunga South, the Chunga Mas, everything on the bamboo. And so it was such a different from the naan and the butter naans and all those things. So the cuisine which we are having in those places, which is being promoted. So those things are very much we should promote. And if Amaralohi is given to those people to whom people are taken by tour operators also nowadays, and people are wanting to have a taste of that Gaolia Poribesh in the inside of the places, whether it be Dima Hasao or in Karbi Anglong. So these things are what we should do. Main thing I am stressing today on my short speech is that what we should do. What we have done enough. But what we should do and how we should go about it and get it into place. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging words. We all know that, from the many presentations that we have had today, Northeast is unique in many, many aspects. For example, consumptions of processed food products in Northeast is still one of the lowest in the country. And we know what processed food does to a person's health. People in Northeast, irrespective of the name of the state, are naturally eco-sensitive. You go to any village, anywhere in the states, except the big towns and cities, of which there are few in Northeast. And you will be amazed to see the cleanliness of the villages, cleanliness of the households. Our traditional attires, irrespective of the name of the state, traditional handlooms, handicrafts, bamboo works, you name it. It is a treasure trove of traditional practices that has remained relatively untouched, unlike most other parts of this country. Similarly, our traditional customs, our languages, our practices has remained more or less untouched, thanks also primarily because of our geographical location. And we realize today from various presentations that this is our USP. But if we are to make this our USP, conservation is equally important, that we do not lose it in the future in the name of tourism. We have seen many mistakes that has been committed in the name of tourism development in other parts of India. As we stand in threshold of a huge number of people coming to our region, we must also ask ourselves in what way we want to grow and make sure that the benefit of the growth passes on to the grassroots and to the local people and to the local stakeholders. Considering this, may I ask one question each to the three national tourism heads that we have with us, if they are still online and present with us. I would like to ask Mr. Mehra, President, IATO, Indian Association of Tour Operators, to say very, very briefly, we are already running out of time, how our local stakeholders can benefit from promotion of inbound tourism. As we realize that mass tourism or bringing in huge numbers of people to the Northeast India may not be the answer to our needs. We need to think long term and grow at a steady rate, but also grow in the right way. So we feel that a certain upper segment of domestic tourism and inbound tourism needs to grow more than what they are currently, and what we can do in that regard. Mr. Vinayak Kaul, if you are present, maybe you can answer that. And to Mr. Kaul, I also have a specific question. ATUI, Adventure Tour Operators Association of India, has a flagship program called Adventure Connect, and he being the honorary secretary of the association, maybe he can tell us how Northeast tour operators, especially people working in the adventure field, can connect with this flagship program of ATUI. Thank you, sir.
Vinayak is there. Bibi Khanna is here. Also, he is there.
Mr. Vera, you want to go?
No, Vinayak is there.
So I would say that our intention of working closely with Northeast and wishing to do the best for Northeast and for our country can be understood from one of the very recent announcements we did. We appointed our Northeast Chapter Chairman, Opian Dayang, who's a well-known and respected name in Arunachal and the whole of Northeast. So our intent from long and more so in the recent past has been to work closely with Northeast and at various forums trying to highlight the potential with Northeast has. Talking about Adventure Connect and our annual conventions, we are in talks with some of the states who are present here. But also, and I was recently at the ITM in Nagaland. There also I had some meetings with state tourism departments to bring the Adventure Connect to Northeast. We were looking forward to bring it in this January, but Omicron has its way, as we can see. So it would be happening after this wave possibly leaves us. And the Adventure Connect is to brainstorm, is to learn, is to understand, and of course to improve the quality and the standards with which the local operators operate and to learn from them and also to give them the exposure which we as association thankfully have at the national levels. That is largely what the Adventure Connects have, and they are more of outdoors events, not like many of the events at times within the circle of a building. We try to mix and match with a couple of sessions on enriching our knowledge about adventure and tourism with outdoor activities, as anyone can guess is synonymous with the ATOI as association. Talking about how local tour operators can benefit, whether it's from inbound tourism or domestic tourism, I would say they need to be more inclusive, more open for growth, more open for people from different parts of the country coming in and try to learn from them. Of course, it's always a two-way path. I would also say they should bring value to the table. They should bring quality to the table. At times, which many of the regional places do face, and it's a discussion, and probably you were hinting on that, where the locals at times feel that there's an organizer coming from different part of the country, whether it's from north to south or south to north, or someone sitting in a big metropolitan city, Bombay, Delhi, Chennai, bringing in clients and bringing in his own team also, our own team also, and we at times are not able to participate. I would say you need to bring value on the table. You need to bring quality on the table. You need to improve your skills. Not saying that locals out there do not have all those, but I would say it's always scope for improvement. So at times, we have to go hand in hand with the local tour organizers, service providers, hotels, operators, transporters, with the ones who are working nationally. They have a bird's eye view of what is happening in the country and in the world. So it has to go hand in hand. That's my input on this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kaul. We have come to the end of this session. I call upon Mr. Shamkanu Mohanto to give the closing statement, please. Thank you.
As you end, can I request Mr. P.P. Khanda, you have something more to say, Mr. Khanda? Chairman Editor?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Manta. I would like to say that we are continuously doing a lot of webinars with our Northeast chapter and with the members. Only the requirement is that today we have the Northeast chapter there, and we have only 2 or 3 states which are really actively involved with the domestic tour operators. Because today, as I said, that today domestic tourism is the only area, and I think only Assam or maybe Tripura or maybe Manipur, they are involved with the domestic tourism. Unfortunately, we don't have any members from the other states. I would like to, because today we have a government delegate here from the tourism department, I would like to request them to make the members or to ask the other members to join ADTOI or ITO or whatever it is, adventure tourism, so that we can work together to promote the Northeast as a destination in India. That's very, very important. Unless until we don't have the members from the state, we cannot do anything. It is very, very necessary that we can do a lot of webinars, we can do a lot of, we are a Pan-India association. We have 11 chapters. Unfortunately, the numbers are very, very less. And we will request all the chapters, all the Northeast states, to please make more members and join the editorial hand, and so that we can really spread our wings and we can promote Northeast as a destination.
Thank you, Mr. Khanna. Thank you for everything. Your suggestion is well taken. I'm sure Mizoram chapter should start, the Manipur state, Nagaland chapter should start. And Mr. Khanna has been a big support for, I think a round of applause for Mr. P.P. Khanna for the forefront of development of Northeast. So we want editorial to send tourists to Northeast, as Mr. Azbi Hussain and Mr. Tuponda Bora specifically mentioned, that this period of post-COVID we can sustain through domestic tourism. We do not perhaps, we're going to get people from US or Europe, but yes, from Delhi, from Hyderabad, from Ahmedabad, definitely tourists can come to Northeast, and editorial has a very strong role to play in the coming days. And we will need support from all the editorial members to send tourists here. And we have with our IATO chairman, Mr. Rajiv Mehra. Mr. Mehra, I would like to request you to sum it up. What is your final point or suggestion? So IATO has been a forefront of a lot of tourism development across the country. But we want people from going to Kerala, yes, people should go to Kerala, but now we should start looking at Northeast, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura. So I request IATO to take important steps in this regard. And a final comment from Mr. Rajiv Mehra of IATO, Chairman IATO.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mahatab. The thing is that we are all ready to promote Northeast. That was one of the reasons why I was there in September, that there is a lot of potential for Northeast for our international guests coming up from abroad, and with relaxations of so many things in that area. But the point is that the state governments have to take the initiative of promoting the tourism in the country or abroad. Just to give you an example, the way J&K government has been promoting tourism in J&K, it is unbelievable. Unbelievable. And that is why they are getting record number of persons. All your 7 states in your area need to do promotion. It was very disheartening to see only Arunachal Pradesh participating in the ITO convention, where there were so many people where they could have shown their products and see what we can do. So, first of all, the most important thing is the promotion by the state governments, because this tourism will only bring in employment and revenue to the states. Every government has to understand that. Once you have done that, it have to start, and then you will see the amount of international tourists whenever they open, and presently domestic tourists wanting to come to the Northeast. Unbelievable. Ladakh did a lot of the Ladakh government did a lot of road shows, and the number of tourists going to Ladakh, that there were 23 to 24 flights from Delhi every day, all going full. Why can't that happen to Northeast states? Please have road shows done. Please try and promote this kind of thing, not over in India. And whenever the international market opens up, there also, and we are here to support all those things so that we could bring more and more international tourists into the Northeast and presently tourists for the development and generate employment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mehra. Thank you so much. Chairman GTC is here, and Mizoram Director is there, and this program is been seen by the various tourism departments. We should encourage some fam trips from our tour operators. In fact, IATO wanted to send a fam trip to Assam, so that they have also met our minister and other minister, who is actually very positive towards tourism development. So I request that we should encourage fam trips of different tour operators and make them travel to Mizoram, make them travel to BTC. And we should organize, we will help from our side, because personally I am close to all these people. We would like to help this process. We have to take them to Mizoram, take them to Dima Hasa, Dima to Karbi, and then help the tourism team to move. For adventure tourism, Vinaya, thank you so much. And adventure tourism can be very big in Northeast. In terms of the components, I think Northeast is the most ideal destination for adventure tourism in the entire country. So I request Mizoram also specifically, we should encourage HOI members. Exactly. So a lot of adventure people will come to Northeast for adventure tourism. So I see a great future in the coming days. Now what is happening? Initially when I used to do roadshow, there was not so much of support. Let me be very honest. I've been trying to do it for last Northeast Festival we are doing in 2016, 17 onward. The response was not great. And today we are seeing so many tour operators coming here. These are from all across India. They are from Bangalore, they are from Hyderabad, Delhi, Mumbai. So a big round of applause for all the tour operators and thank you so much. This is a big number. I must take my own in gratitude. Thank Editoi, IOTA and Etoi. And for all the members and for being present here. And I would request you to maintain this relationship, and from our side, from Northeast side, we should bring the relationship forward. We need to have a tour operator network to make tourism move here. And I think we are on the right step right now. I'm sure it's the beginning and they are getting interested right now. Earlier I did not have so much of response. Today we are getting, I think it's the biggest response that I have. And any
big round of applause for Shankar.
I think it's the biggest ever tour operator meet. Although we have got only few people here, but the right audience at the right place. So this is besides, that is our objective. And it's a lot of positive vibe has come, and thank you so much from Mr. Ritupurna Boga, the chairman of the PCC. They have made a very, very, very significant points and very positive points. I'm so happy to have amongst us from Mizoram. Thank you so much, sir. V. Langmaya is a director and a dynamic director of Mizoram. Big round of applause for really actually changing a lot of things. Earlier Mizoram never used to participate. And now he is coming forward, and I wish a fantastic presentation from Roland Wallam. I really love the Meghalaya presentation. I have congrats to Sumit Bingo, who was supposed to be here because of his Commissioner Secretary of Government. Minister, he couldn't come. But a fantastic presentation of Meghalaya. I really like the way you have made the presentation. I thank Mr. Sanat from BTC Tourism. He's a very progressive boy, and I'm sure BTC changing in a big way. And our presenter, I think we have got Arijit Professor, Shreya is there, and Manoranjan. He has been a great pioneer of tourism in Assam. So thank you, Manoranjan, for all the work. And the whole team of Assam Tourism is here. And Razmita is always a pioneer and a motivating force for us. Thank you so much, Razmita. And finally, I must thank our moderator of this session. And his Nirmala Chaudhary. Nirmala Chaudhary, can you stand up? Executive Director of Jungle Travels India and Assam Bengal Navigation. He is in 30 years of tour operating, and they run the India's largest river cruise. It's called Soraido. Soraido.
To Sutafa, Rajmahal and Rudrasingh.
A pride of entire Northeast, and thank you so much. And I would like to request Bhavna is there. Bhavna and Himanshu, thank you so much. But Bhavna, can you request you to felicitate? We have a young team, and this is tourism about the future of young people. So this is a young team. Thank you so much, Nirmala Chaudhary sir, for moderating the session so very well. So there's two things I have to announce here. Today at 3 p.m., Mr. Saramanda Sonomal sir, the Minister of Waterways, will be chairing a session on river tourism and river transport. So there's another tourism thing happening at 3 p.m. I will request all of you to attend that. You'll open up a lot of things. Right now we have lunch. I will request all of you to have lunch with us. And after that, 3 o'clock, we'll have a series of performers coming. We have got Rhythms of Manipur, one of the finest band you'll see. We have got performers, Wangala performers from Meghalaya. We have got Bodoland performers, we have BTC dancers, all varieties of Assam music, dance performances. We have Naga warriors, Sumi Nagas are coming, all from the Northeast. We'll see finest performers will be performing here, and a spectacular fashion shows will showcase the best of Northeastern handloom. And finally, we have Zubin Garg, the most popular musician of this entire region, will be performing tonight. So I request all of you to be there. And my friends in the national tour operator organizations, I request you to watch the program on YouTube link of Northeast Festival and Facebook page of Northeast Festival. This is digital Northeast Festival. We are creating the content here and are promoting it across the world. So the people in US, people in Europe can also watch this program, an entire program in the YouTube link of NorthEast Festival and Facebook page of NorthEast Festival. Thank you so much, all of you, all the tour operators, thank you so much, and all the dignitaries on the dais, and we all join for lunch. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Can you come?